This podcast is sponsored by BB Makes, a family-run personalised gift company. From sports bottles to team merchandise, BB Makes has you covered. They will happily work with you to create unique designs for your perfect gift, with a wide range of products, all able to be personalised with names, quotes, pictures and much more. Head over to bbmakes.com. That's www.bebemakes.com and use the code COIS so they know that we sent you. Oh, and of course, come on you Spurs.
Welcome to the Spurs News Podcast, your home for all things Tottenham Hotspur. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Spurs News Podcast. Today on Monday, just to keep everyone guessing, joining me to discuss all the latest happenings and all things Tottenham Hotspur, it's Stefan.
Good morning, how are we doing? Mondays. This is
unique.
Throwback.
Yeah, so we had a technical problem at the back end of last week and we decided rather than putting out half a show, bit of a show, we just wait and re-record it on the Monday. That way we'd also get the Southampton game in, which I know everyone really enjoyed. I don't know, I went a bit Trump then. Did you notice that? Everyone really enjoyed.
It was great, the best game ever, man. Yeah.
I've never heard him say man. What the hell was that?
I don't know.
You were trying to do Trump and you ended up being like Surfer Dude. Hey man, dude, gnarly, yeah. But anyway, so yeah, this is the Spurs News Podcast. We've got, there's always stuff to talk about. Let's open up with this. It is a struggle at the minute.
Yeah, like, I'm so glad I don't support one of those teams like, you know, Manchester City that go through all this dominance and win. I mean, this season not so much, but normally like just win games every week and spend money like it's going out of fashion and just dominate. It's so boring. Yeah, we have stuff to talk about every week.
Yeah, but then don't you think we could talk about the good stuff if we did support a team like that?
I wouldn't know how to.
No. Yeah, I've been conditioned that way as well. Yeah, it's all a bit crap, really, and it's difficult because we're trying to. I always try and put sort of positivity and try and kind of find a bit of, you know, if nothing else, a little bit of therapy, chatting stuff through, and I am struggling to kind of find that, like, you know, just find that kind of ray of light in amongst the darkness, and B, I'm then struggling to find that motivation that I, you know, grab the mic and get talking about it, because not many people want to listen. And it's like anyone still listening to the show is hardcore, is kind of I don't know whether we're just fans of the show or just massive Tottenham fans that are
They either love us, love the club, or hate themselves. It's one of those three at this point.
Wow, that's
like, they're either like, I love Spurs News, I'm going to listen every week, it's a great show. They're either like, you know, inject Tottenham news into me because I love the club so much, or they're like, no, I deserve the torture. I support them. It's my own fault.
Yeah, well, you know.
I deserve this.
Love me, hate themselves just described every ex I've had in the last few years, I think. But, so let's open this up then with actual. So I've got some bullet points for us to walk through, and let's open it up with the Chelsea defeat. So us losing at Stamford Bridge is not a surprise. Let's just throw that out there straight away.
Over the years, no. Yeah.
Countless managers, countless different teams of countless different abilities. The only time in Premier League really era where I felt us going there we had a chance was the Pochettino years, where our team, I genuinely felt we could beat anybody on any game, any ground. It was a strange feeling, one I now miss immensely.
Gotcha.
In fact, I now have the exact reverse of that, where I feel like we could lose to anybody, even at home. See the Southampton game. But the Chelsea So the result of that game isn't really one that I was overly shocked by. I went into it, me and you had this conversation, and I genuinely felt we were going to get thumped.
Yes.
I was kind of like, if we lose this game 3-0, I think we've got away with it. I honestly expected us to lose 4-5 and be embarrassed. And the only thing in the back of my mind was, if that happens, I wonder if they pull the trigger on Ange at that point, because it would almost be like a massive surrender in the sense of this team just aren't playing for him. Therefore, what's the point? Even if he scrapes through in the Europa League, which is highly unlikely, it just feels like it's just dead man walking now. Everybody knows it. Every fan, every player, everyone at the club is all, their minds are moving on, so it just seems ridiculous that this is just continuing. So I did think at the back of my mind, if we get humiliated, maybe that will pull the trigger on that, and we will at least finish the season with some sort of fresh impetus, maybe. But so my expectation, genuinely, and it's not hyperbole, I genuinely thought we were going to get thumped.
Yeah.
So losing 1-0, okay, all right, fair enough. There are some talking points from it. So first up for me, and I just want to kind of put it to you, I watched the game start to finish, and I was thoroughly unimpressed with the team's level of effort. It just, and not for the first time this season. This is now, through the injury crisis, I was kind of looking at it and looking at the players thinking they're fatigued, they're done in. Those who are still playing are done in. Those that are coming in and out from injury and stuff are trying to get up to speed. But we've just had an international break. I know a lot of the squad went off, came back, but there was still a good number that didn't, had the rest, had the opportunity. The coaching staff and everyone had those 2 weeks just to focus purely on Chelsea. What are we going to do? How are we going to set up? How are we going to play? And to just be that poor from start to finish was, for me, unacceptable. So just on that point and the effort and the thing, what did you... I can't remember if you watched the game or not, but...
I did watch the Chelsea game. I actually watched it all the way through, even though I did threaten to turn it off at least twice.
Okay.
I've mentioned this multiple times this season, that the effort is the bare minimum we expect. Like, we do not expect to win 38 games in a season.
Yeah.
We do not expect to win every cup game and every cup. We do not expect that. What we expect is a certain level of performance and the effort that goes with that.
Yeah.
I know kind of one of my breaking points was actually that Tamworth game where the players just turned up and looked like they were going to roll over them and didn't really put any effort in at all.
Yeah.
But that is now something that we are seeing more and more.
Yeah.
And it's like the team are going on the pitch and kind of going through the motions and then acting surprised at the end of the game when the atmosphere isn't all cheers and smiles and claps. And
well, that's a separate thing I want to come on to.
Yeah, I think as well, we were saying about the Chelsea game, I know we were talking in the WhatsApp group that we've got between us. It's all about like context. So last season we went to Stamford Bridge on the back of 10 games of top of the league, and we got beaten quite heavily with suspensions and injuries, and obviously that was a bit of a downfall moment.
That was at our ground, not
Stamford. Oh, sorry, that was, no, you're right, that was at our ground, sorry. And you know, the fans cheered and clapped because they could see the effort, they could see what was happening.
Yeah.
Now, if we had had a season where we were sitting somewhere between 4th and 6th in the league and we were having a good season, you then go to Chelsea and lose 1-0, it's kind of shrugged off as it's always a tough ground. It's annoying to lose to a rival, but it's always a tough ground. It's not like we went there and expected a 3-0 win.
Yeah.
I think the context of the fact that that was our 16th loss in 30 games.
Yeah.
Like we had, like some people talk about the win percentage. Like, you know, any manager that's got a win percentage of over 50% is doing all right. This season we have a loss percentage of over 50%.
I mean, it's worth pointing out that by the 30-game marker in a season, the 16 defeats is now the worst since 1977.
Yeah,
which is the season we were relegated.
Yeah. So that kind of context is there of why a 1-0 defeat at Chelsea and the effort they put in is so contrast to what it was when we lost to them at home last season. Because this season we've not had that level of effort, we've not had that level of passion for the shirt, and all of a sudden a 1-0 loss away at Chelsea has gone from a, like I say, it's tough ground there, shame, you know. We, in a good season, we'd be talking about the Sarr goal as an absolute robbery, whereas this season, with the performances being so bad, we're talking about the Sarr goal as in, blimey, that almost spared our blushes, didn't it?
Did you?
It's crazy.
Just on the Sarr goal then, because that takes us into the next part I want to talk about. Did you think that should have stood?
No. It was a foul. Of course it was
exactly,
a foul.
yeah.
Of course it was a foul. But I think, as I say, just the context of, if we were having a really good season, we would probably be looking at that going, that's so unfair. Like, he went for the ball, it's fine. But because we're having such a bad season, we all looked at that and gone, yeah, that is so typical. Like, that is just...
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do get what you're saying, but I just, I mean, it was a foul whether we're having a good season or not. It just,
yeah,
it was just, it's just one of those things that, like, the thing that frustrated me about that was he then got booked.
Yeah, I didn't think VAR was allowed to do that.
They're not. So Pat Matasar is now the first player, and Tottenham are the first club since VAR was introduced to get a yellow card off the back of VAR. And I don't know if anyone's asking the question about it or not, because our club appears to be shite at doing stuff like this. But really, we should be asking why that was the case, because they obviously have to check the goal. So they checked the goal and they looked at that and they went, oh, there's a foul in the build-up. The goal needs to be disallowed. The referees looked at it and let it go. So the referee's not going to in. So there's the clear and obvious thing. Now, the VAR then can look at it for foul play. So they'll look at it and go, is that serious foul play? Is it a red card? No, it's not. And that's the end of it.
Yeah.
The booking should never happen. The yellow card for VAR is a thing that just doesn't exist. So when he got booked for that, that makes no sense. So, yeah, I agree. It was rightly chalked off, just like their goal. Their second was rightly chalked off. But it was a nonsense. It just, the yellow card thing. And because of other stuff that happened, that seems to have got completely overshadowed. So, on to the other stuff that happened then, which I think is a key talking point from the game. The away fans for Tottenham have, for a while now, had enough of what they're watching. They pay a lot of money, they do a lot of travelling, they are the hardcore of our fan base. And I think you've said it to me and we've agreed on this, when you lose the away fans, you've got a real problem.
Oh, definitely, because they are, like you say, they are the hardcores. They are the ones that spend their money. They don't just, live near London and go to home games because it's like convenient or anything else. They are the ones that will travel all around Europe this season to watch these games. There's a lot of money, a lot of strategic stuff involved, like, booking days off work, holiday, hotels, all that sort of thing.
Oh, so it's a massive sacrifice to follow and support the team. So the away fans, like for me, I'm always very proud of our away support. And I have felt a few times this season they've been overtly toxic and angry, and I felt it was misplaced. I felt they've directed that anger at Ange at the wrong time. I think they've directed it at certain players at the wrong time. when really they should be angry at the hierarchy of the club. Now, that being said, when Ange made the substitutions against Chelsea, probably the best player on the pitch was Bergvall, and he took him off. And when he took him off, it was met with boos from the Tottenham fans, followed by a rendition of "You don't know what you're doing." That, again, is like a death nail.
That is a very large nail in the coffin.
Yeah, it is. It is very much a kind of, when that sort of thing happens, it's really questioning what's going on. It's not the first time.
No, we all remember Lucas Moura being substituted, the fans singing that, and Levy and Paratici giving each other a look.
Yeah,
and we all know what happened next.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. But what did happen, and what was kind of where I feel I'd reached a point where I felt Ange had lost the backing to the point he had to go. I mentioned that a few weeks ago on the show. It was kind of reluctant on my part because I liked the guy. I saw what he was trying to do, and I was quite bullish about trying to back him through all of this crap, because I was so fed up of chopping and changing managers, so fed up of starting rebuilds, firing someone, starting again. It's so aggravating. So there was a real determination on my part to back the guy through all of this. He has, on a few occasions, possibly because the pressure's getting to him, done things that I've gone, oh, that's not clever, that's not good.
Yeah, you're not going to enjoy the reactions of that one. Yeah,
why have you said that? And then in this game, as Sarr scored the goal, which then got chalked off, after the fans had booed and sung that at him, he pointed towards them and cupped his ear to them. Now, after the game, he lied. I'm going to call it what it is. I'm calling him a liar, and I'd say it to his face.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, I wanted to hear noise from them. I wanted
to hear the noise and hear them be joyful because we've not had much to be joyful about recently," or something along those lines. He said, and I'm like, "You didn't. No, like." I would probably have more respect for him if he just owned up and went, "Yeah, they booed me. My substitute scored."
Yeah.
I think I would have had more respect for him just to come out and go, "Yeah, you saw what I did."
Yeah, I think. I mean,
I was very disappointed by that, because I've always found Ange to be a man of his word. And, like, before he joined us, there was so much talk about, Ange says what he says and he means it. And he's never been one to kind of shy away from any subject and stuff like that. So for him to come out and say that, I was really disappointed by.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he'd argue blue in the face that was what he meant. I mean, he's going to stick to that. I just can't believe it, to be honest with you. And I know, my opinion doesn't mean shit to him, obviously, but it just angers me. And I'm a fan, so if I feel like that, plenty of other fans feel that way as well. And the away fans, and now this is where it gets a bit horrible, and I have a friend who was in the away end who said it started quite a argument in amongst the away fans, which got a bit heated, where he pointed out that a section, after the goal was ruled out, sort of did an ironic cheer at Ange. Now that is a goal being ruled out, a Tottenham goal being ruled out, and a section of our away fans are so focused on Ange at this point, they're actually cheering it being ruled out.
That's not good.
No, it's fucked up, and it is a symptom of how angry and toxic things have become, and it's become toxic. Like we've had this so many times, and it's so tedious. Like, it never once has it sort of got to a point where the club have acted in a way or have done things in a way to prevent it becoming this. Like with Ange, I genuinely believe they have allowed him to stay in charge because he's taking the brunt of shit now rather than the board. Right, at the Southampton game, there was a massive protest again. The second one for change for Spurs,
Yep.
where they marched to the stadium. I'd say numbers were the same, if not more, than the first one. They did a phenomenal job. The visuals of it, there's loads of pictures online, loads of press articles. You can find it in practically every newspaper today. They've done a brilliant job of that. And then they, once the protest was done, they went in and supported the team. But there was one Levy out chant inside that stadium which opened the match basically 30 seconds in. And then nothing. And various people I know who've been at the ground are just like, it's dead. Like, it's just nasty, toxic. Like, we're scoring goals and it's like, hey. It's so dead. And I was watching and you could hear that. Like, the atmosphere. All I could hear in the opening 20 minutes were the Southampton fans singing about how shit our fans were.
Yeah, so I listened to I was at an event yesterday, so I had to listen via BBC London, I think it was, to listen to on. And I've got to say, the Southampton fans were fantastic. Because you could hear them. You couldn't hear the Spurs fans. I mean, at one point, I actually heard the Southampton fans on the radio singing, "Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be."
Yeah.
We're going to face Coventry.
Yeah.
Like, they were having a really good day out at an away game, and the home fans, like you say, I heard one Levy out chant. The commentator mentioned that at some point in the second half, apparently they were chanting it again, but I didn't hear it.
No, I didn't hear it.
And the other thing, so when you listen to commentary on the radio, you kind of know a goal's been scored because you hear the cheer of the stadium normally before the commentator gets to actually say out loud what's happened.
He's sort of drowned out, isn't he?
Yeah, it didn't happen. I heard Johnson score both those goals from the commentator, and you heard a bit of noise in the background.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm listening to this going, this doesn't sound right. Like,
no.
The commentator should be drowned out by 60-odd thousand fans going crazy that, Johnson scored a goal or he scored the second goal. And instead I hear the commentator and I'm like, the stadium is just dead.
So again, and so we were 2-0 up at half-time. And to be honest, Southampton are really poor. Like, they're bottom of the league for a reason. And I looked at them and how they were set up and what they were trying to do, and they were awful. And I mean, I've seen some poor teams this season, including us. And I just, like, the half time, I had this genuine feeling of, like, if I was someone watching the Premier League for the first time and that was the first half I'd watched, I probably wouldn't watch again. Like, it was just crap. Like, both teams were poor, slow, no real intensity. One or two players did okay, but I'm talking about, like, we scored a couple of goals. Johnson's goals, he took them brilliantly, both of them, like, really, really well.
Yeah.
And they were slick moves to both to set it up. Like, they were really good interchange passing. But those were moments from 45 minutes that really we should have done a lot more. Like, you look at the team we put out, you look at how poor Southampton were in front of our own fans, it was poor. So at half time I kind of thought to myself, well, if we come out in the second half, we could easily win this game 5-6-0.
Yeah.
If we come out in the second half with a level of intensity of, right, we need to put down a marker. Let's send our fans home happy.
Let's get them off our back even. Let's get the fans off our back and go and dominate a game of football, playing this brand of football and see what happens. Yeah. No.
And the second half was dire. I mean, it was awful. Like, there was no effort. They were in. I think Dan, the Polynesian Dan in our group, said it was like they were told to go out and conserve energy for Thursday.
Oh, that was me. Like, no, that was me that said it.
That was you,
yeah,
was it?
Like,
okay.
The only thing I can think of is that the half-time message was, look, we've had a lot of injuries this season. We've had a lot of problems. Go out in the second half. Make sure we win the game. but do not put yourself under undue stress that could cause an injury, that could cause a strain, a pull. It almost felt like he told the players, don't even hang on the ball for too long. They'll be able to tackle you and potentially injure you. Like, just injury limitation. Do not let it happen. Just to make sure we get the 3 points.
Well, so in the first half, here's just the stat. In the first half, we completed something like 400 passes and gave the ball away 12 times. Yep. In the second half, we completed about 280 passes and gave the ball away 26 times.
Yeah.
Our players in the first half were caught in possession twice. In the second half, 15 times.
Jesus.
Forward passing in the first half, something like 65% of our passes were going forward. In the second half, it dropped down to 12%.
Ooh.
The only player who kept his level up from 1 into 2 was Lucas Bergvall. And I will say the close was Bentancur as well, but he had a bit of a drop off. And they were subbed off, obviously, probably with Thursday in mind.
Yeah.
The level of drop off from the first to the second half was insane.
And it's terrifying because we know from Ange when he was first signed, you said this in our group chat, so I'm going to paraphrase you. One of the things that everyone, ex-players, ex-staff, everyone from his previous clubs was like, this guy's team talks and his motivational talks and stuff will have you running through walls for this guy. He is one of the best manager speakers that there are. He will get you pumped up and he will get you playing. And so many times this season, I've jokingly put in our group chat, did Ange just not go into the change room at half time? The amount of second halves this season we've seen where the drop-off has been severe. It's what the hell is happening?
What's interesting is I think we're seeing it not just in the second halves now, but at the start of games as well. I feel like the team is completely unmotivated. They don't seem to care. They keep giving these interviews where they're kind of almost arguing with us fans, we really care, we're really trying.
Prove it.
And there's a prove it aspect. There's, the actions speak louder than words. There's the kind of, I watched Solanke pre-injury. That guy was relentless, absolutely relentless. Even games, I felt we as a team were not playing that well. How many times did me and you go, geez, Solanke put a shift in though? He
definitely.
Really,
we could lose a game, but he was still covering both centre backs and the full backs.
Yeah, he would put a shift in like you wouldn't believe, and he was making it difficult. I watched us against Southampton. So I don't think I heard his name mentioned in commentary. I think maybe twice in the entire game. I probably could find it now, but I'm not going to. The number of times he touched the ball, the number of times I saw him close, he on a couple of occasions he went to press, and I could see him looking over his shoulder, realising he was on his own, and was just what's the fucking point? And that's the problem. That is there is now apathy and lethargic nature across the entire squad, where none of them are trying. And to me, there's a key. We had this thing in the past where they've downed tools. You can see quite clearly this squad is not playing for this manager now. I do not think this squad have done that to Ange, but what I think has happened is they realise no matter what they do, he's fired. And so they have, in essence, downed tools now on the club, not the manager.
I think you're probably right on that. When you look at the sort of interviews that people like Romero and Kulusevski have come out with, and even Maddison still keeps kind of saying the same things. Matthias Tell's had a couple of times he's spoken to the fans. Even Archie Gray at one point went over to the fans and spoke to them. These players all seem genuinely, they seem 100% behind the manager.
Yep.
Because I think they enjoy the idea of the football he tries to play.
Yep.
I was listening to, Alan Pardew of all people, yesterday, and he was talking about the Premier League at the moment, and it was backing onto something Gary Neville said on Sky, which I didn't hear, but he was saying at the moment it's either possession-based football or counter-attacking football. That's it.
Yeah.
You are either playing out from the goalkeeper constantly, which not all goalkeepers and defenders can do.
Yeah.
Or you're trying to give the ball to the opposition because you've got two quick wingers that can run down the pitch.
Yeah.
And Ange is trying to do something completely different.
Yeah.
And I genuinely believe that the players are like, this is how you play football. I like this. Like, I know, like, I never played at a high level. The highest I ever got was playing against Bradford City in a pre-season friendly. You know, I never played at high level. Yeah. But if you gave me the opportunity to... I'm a striker. I was always a forward. So if you gave me the opportunity to be a forward in a team that only ever plays counter-attacking football, so I'm basically stood on the halfway line bored for 75 minutes of a match, to play this build-up from the back football, which means as a forward, I'm kind of stood somewhere in their half board for 75 minutes. Or you play the Ange ball system, which is kind of like quick, relentless, go, go, go. I know it's what I want to play for.
Yeah.
And I believe the players genuinely are like, yeah, this is a fun style of football. I want to play this. So I don't doubt that the players are behind Ange, but like you just said, I think they've seen the ambition that was shown by the club.
The lack of.
I mean, I think, January was, I think, a massive month for the club because the players looked at it and went, well, we're all shattered, we're all injured, we're free falling down a table, and what have you done to help us?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to come on to that naturally, but it's. I think when you look at markers in the season and you look at, so in the summer the club made the choice to buy young. They didn't replace the experience that had left the squad, and when you look at the wage bill for the club and the decrease window on window, it's starting to feel like it's less about footballing achievement and more about just reducing the wage bill. It's worrying and disconcerting from a fan's point of view, but also the players aren't stupid. The players who have come in are delighted at young age or getting lots of minutes without a shadow of a doubt. But the senior players in the squad, even if they're looking at them going, God, Gray's going to be some player, Bergvall, he's going to be some player, they're not stupid. They're looking at each other going, but how does that help us now? Like, this kid's going to develop into something special, and we as fans as well, I said this a few weeks ago and I got quite a lot of hate for it, but I'm going to say it again. These players are going to be phenomenal, but not for us.
Because we know Daniel Levy will go, they're worth how much more than we bought them for? Oh, okay.
Not even that. The players are going to outgrow us. Like Bergvall, if you look at his trajectory over the next couple of seasons, he is going to be looked at seriously by every big club in Europe.
Oh, definitely.
Like Barcelona, what?
Yeah, we beat Barcelona to his signing, so we already know that he's on their radar.
Yeah, exactly. Now, these clubs are going to look at him seriously, and you're looking 60, 80 million for him, potentially, even in his early 20s. But his peak in that position is age 25. Between 25 and 29 years old is when he is at his peak.
Yeah.
And we've got him now, turned 19. So we are basically developing this player, and then his peak, he's out of contract with us, by the way, at that point. His peak years, and, he's not stupid. His management aren't stupid. That's why he signed that deal.
Yeah.
He is available to go elsewhere. Archie Gray, exactly the same. These two players know, okay, we've got this ability, this potential. We're going to get lots of minutes. We're playing in the Premier League. They've got that in them to look at that and go, right, we're going to go on. And from our point of view, it fucking sucks. Like, we have gone from building towards being a destination team, building towards players joining us because they see it as I'm joining a club to win things, to now gone right back down again to players joining us as a stepping stone. And the players we do have that are a class above, once again, we're back to this, are wanting to leave because they want to play Champions League football. It's like 10 years ago. It's like everything that happened to build the club to where it was just has gone. It's vanished. And we are right back. Like, we were told that stadium was a game changer for us. Since moving to that stadium, our wage bill has dropped year on year.
Yep.
How does that work?
Beyonce likes it, though.
I don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
Like, let's just talk. Let's just talk football. Let's just stay on this topic, which is, and I know, any industry in the world, if you are very, very good at your job, you command a higher wage.
Oh, definitely.
That's any industry, any job at all. Like I am very, very good at my job, and when I used to get headhunted years ago, before I did everything for myself, I would get offered wages reflective of where the market was and my ability at my job. And I'd get like offers to go here to here, like that. And that is no different now in sport. So if you are very, very good as a central defender, you are QT Romero. You've won the World Cup, you've won the Copa America twice. So the last 3 major tournaments you've been in as an international footballer, you've won. And you've been voted defender of the tournament in all 3 of them.
Yep.
You are the definition of world class as a central defender. You have had an injury hit season, and you have openly blamed the club's medical staff for that. Like, you have quite...
Yeah, there was nothing subtle about...
No, nothing at all. No, and he it's interesting because all of these players have social media management and stuff like that. I have learned very recently that QT doesn't.
Do you know what? That doesn't surprise me. When you see the stuff that's being said, it doesn't surprise me.
So, basically after games on a regular basis, you'll see him put out like pictures and stuff like that, and like, oh, we go again, or whatever. And I always think to myself, oh, that's just like whoever is social media management. Apparently, no. Apparently, QT does it all himself. He likes social media interaction. He enjoys it. And it is funny because when you ever look at the pictures he puts out, 9 times out of 10 he'll pick one where he's munching someone. And he'll put that out. And I'm like, okay, I kind of believe that is him. Okay, fair enough. But like, you look at him as a player now. He said quite openly, if the club fire Ange earlier in the season, he would consider his position at the club because since joining it's been like this, no, we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. And he is settled, he's been made a vice captain, he's really happy, he wants to win stuff with Tottenham. Over the course of this season, he's watched as Ange hasn't been backed at all. Like the January thing, I really think broke the spirit of the squad. I think the senior players, let's say QT, Sonny, Kulusevski, all looked at this January and went, what the fuck? Like, you can literally see us all hanging on by a thread and you've done nothing. And then it gets right to the end of the window. It's like, okay, here's a defender. Oh, and we tried to buy another one, honest.
Yeah.
No one's buying it. No one believes you. Like, and
it's like
please,
Matthias Tell. I do not believe for a second that we will still have Matthias Tell next season. I do not believe he has been in this club for the second half of the season. We'll get to the end of the season and go, oh yeah, I want to be here. No, yes, please. No chance.
Yeah,
no.
It's a weird one, that one, because if for example that loan does end, then we wasted a lot of money.
Yeah.
That would then basically the loan fee I think is about 10 million quid.
Yeah.
Or 10 million euros. Which is just fucking shocking. But anyway, look, that's kind of a side thing. But again, let's just focus on Romero like I was for a second ago.
Yep.
He has come out and said his injuries were made worse, basically, by Tottenham. And he had to go back to Argentina to get treated to be able to come back. And since he's come back, touch wood, he has been consistent. I mean, obviously, very rusty and made a lot of mistakes in his first game back. But since then, he's consistently, you can see he's better. You can see he's getting up to speed. He's coming back to his level.
Yeah.
Van der Ven, similar. You can see now it's starting to come back to level. When the two of them are together, they look more comfortable. They look better. They look more kind of like, okay, I trust the ball goes in behind. Mickey's got it. Mickey's like, I trust that ball comes in there. Cute is out to him. They are a good pairing. They work well together. With Cutie coming towards the end of this season, he has very much so 3 options to leave the club. There are 3 clubs all willing to pay between 60 and 80 million for him this summer, and he has decided, by all accounts from media in Argentina, he's leaving. So this is a vice captain of the side. He is part of the leadership group and everything, and he is widely now regarded as he is 100% off this summer. We have 7 games left in the league, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's 7.
Yeah.
And so 9 games minimum left in the season.
Yes.
With the 2 leg against Frankfurt. Obviously, if we win those by some miracle, we'll have more, but potentially there's 9 games left in the season. Do you see him putting himself out there, running himself into the ground, potentially injuring himself again for this club, knowing that he is 100% trying to leave?
Not even a little bit, and I think the stats are backing that up. When you look at like the last X amount of games, I can't remember what the stat was now, but someone said in the commentary yesterday about the last few games that Romero and Van der Ven have actually played together.
Yeah.
And the losses and the amount of goals conceded, and you kind of go, well, that's not what we would expect from them too.
To be honest with you, I put that down a lot to the fact they've been defending behind a midfield that isn't there.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
So you can absolutely, they're the defenders and Vicario's the goalkeeper. They are the ones that are getting hammered by those stats. But we with eyes who have watched the games know, where's the midfield gone? Yeah. Like it's ridiculous. And people are saying that's the system and that's that. Okay, but to me, I'm just looking at it, just thinking, this is ridiculous. Like, this just relentless. Southampton did it to us yesterday, second half.
Yeah.
And I'm just watching it. The worst team in the league, arguably one of the worst teams in Premier League history, dominate us for 45 minutes, and just it was appalling.
Isn't it a scary reflection when you play the worst Premier League team in a long, long time, and yet you still know both teams are going to score?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, I mean,
it's like, man.
When they got that 1 goal back, I genuinely thought we were going to draw the game or possibly even lose, even though it was the 90th minute, because we have been so poor, so apathetic. It is very difficult to switch it up. Like, when you have settled into this kind of, oh, never mind, I'm not really going to try. When they score, it's difficult to wake yourself up again.
Yeah.
And it happens to us so much that it's just like, it's got to be a symptom of a lack of motivation or something. I don't know. It just is crap. But yeah, just to finish this thing on QT Romero. So with him looking to leave, and the 3 clubs, by the way, is Liverpool, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid. So we'll obviously prefer to sell him abroad, but Liverpool are very much interested in him, and also very much interested in Mickey van der Ven. One or the other, not both.
Yeah.
It is a summer where we know as fans they're going to fire Ange. Like, we win the Europa League, Ange is still getting fired in my mind.
I think it's almost a blessing. If we win the Europa League, then I think Ange is offered the chance to go out on a high. If we get knocked out the Europa League, I don't even know if he finishes the season.
I agree. I think if we get hammered against Frankfurt, which is infinitely possible, I think they pull the trigger now and they put Mason in till the summer in the hope they can line someone up to come in quickly in the summer, and it doesn't become an entire summer of looking for a manager again.
Or who's got the cheapest buyout clause? Who's got the least salary? Who's got No ambition to do anything themselves, just be a yes man. Oh, it'll be a fun summer.
No, it won't. No, it's just it's crap. It is really, really crap, and it is continually crap. And I fear it's going to stay this way for a while. But my point is, you've got the senior player in the side with him ready to leave.
Yep.
The club captain's son is getting pelters from our fans on a regular basis. And that's upsetting to me a lot. Like, you can have an opinion. Polynesian Dan's got the opinion we should have sold him. I can understand that opinion. I don't agree with it, but I get that opinion of should have cashed in on him because he's only going to decline from the point where he was. I get it, and so that's just a difference of opinion. When it comes to him getting abuse, though, I think everyone doing that's a fucking idiot. Because he gave his absolute best to the club, and loyalty works both ways.
Yeah.
Like, you don't treat someone like that. You just don't. When he's put that much in for the club, even if he's struggling at the moment, and by the way, the whole team's struggling, it's not on him, to the level of abuse, etc. And by the way, the level of just sheer racism and just fucking, I don't know what it is, whenever a Korean fan, like, it just seems to be on Twitter, pictures of Korean fans going, oh, fucking hell, no wonder why our support's so shit nowadays. Just fuck off. Like, what in your prehistoric brain makes you think that that's okay? And if you think for 1 minute that stuff like that isn't seen by Korean journalists or online, because I watch them retweet it, and therefore isn't put to Sonny when he's on international duty and he's got to come out and fucking defend you Neanderthals as Tottenham fans are slagging off Korean football fans, and he's got to deal with all that shit, the stuff that happened with Bentancur, all the stuff he's had to deal with throughout this season as the captain, trying, always being the one who has to front up, always being the one who has to try and bring everyone back together again. You ask one young player in this squad and they'll tell you how good of a captain he is.
Yeah.
A captaincy isn't just on the pitch screaming and shouting, which everyone seems to have in their brain. That's what a captain should be doing. Captain sets the tone in training. He leads by example. He makes sure everyone's involved, included. He doesn't allow, groups within groups to form. And you ask anyone about that, and Sonny's been brilliant at just making sure everyone's on the same page. He is pissed off at the club. He feels that he's been hung out to dry. He had his contract renewed when he wanted to sit down and have talks over a new deal. Sonny wanted to retire at Tottenham. He wanted to finish his career at the club, and it's now been made evident to him the club don't see that. So now he doesn't know what's going on. That's how we are currently treating probably our current legend in the side. Yeah, I know legend's thrown around a lot, and I know you can point to, he's not a legend, he's not won anything with us. But he is, you look at the appearances he's made for us, 450 appearances now, the goals, the assists, the consistency for years, and is one of the top footballing superstars in the world, and he's been loyal to us. It works both ways. We were loyal to him, we had to go off and do his military service and all that kind of thing. And because of that, he signed his new deal when everyone else was holding the club up, like, oh, we might sign, might not, we don't know what's going on, now Pochettino's left. He signed his deal. He came out, no, I'm here. I'm staying. And everyone applauded him for that. What loyalty, what a great guy.
Like, he genuinely loves that club.
Yeah.
But, like you say, it's the loyalty thing. Like, he's had offers in the past. He could have left us with some very good teams in the past. He didn't.
Liverpool were in for him. He had a very good opportunity to go there when he had 1 year left on his deal some time ago. He could have made that happen. He didn't.
Nope.
He didn't want to play against Tottenham.
And this summer, this summer could be, you know how we once had that famous saying of, it's going to be a very painful summer?
Yeah.
And we were kind of like expecting this painful summer, but it was going to be this incredible rebuild, but we were going to lose some loved players in the process.
Yeah.
This summer is going to be a very painful summer. Not because there's going to be a rebuild, just because some very important players to the club are basically going to turn around and go, nah, fuck this.
Yeah.
I have seen this cycle. I have been on this cycle before. I am not doing this shit again.
No.
Realistic chances are, we are a team finishing closer to relegation than the top four, and no European football next season.
Nope.
We are going to go into pre-season probably still searching for a manager, and end up hiring the fourth or fifth choice manager because the top guys have gone, I've watched you for the last 6 years. I'd have no fucking interest in joining your club.
Yeah.
Losing players like Son, Romero, potentially Van de Ven, because they're all wanted by other clubs. I would almost guarantee that teams in Spain are probably looking at Porro. Teams in Italy are probably looking at Udogi.
Kulusevski is the other one.
Yeah, like we could lose some massive players, not because, and ironically, we could lose massive players, not even because the typical Daniel Levy, profit, let's sell them. We could lose massive players because they are just looking at the bullshit cycle that the club is in and just going, I don't want to deal with this again.
Yeah, and the players can, contracts do mean something, they absolutely do. But players, of course, have the ability to force moves. We know that.
Yeah.
And Romero has publicly said he'll force a move in this summer because he's that unhappy with what has happened. Van Dijk leaves Liverpool, which looks like it could happen, or Van de Ven is his replacement. Champions possibly. I'm going to say possibly because they're stuttering and that's terrifying me.
Yeah, I mean, even if Van Dijk stays there, can you imagine Van Dijk and Van de Ven as a partnership, and Liverpool knowing that when Van Dijk does go, Van de Ven is already playing the system and knows it?
Yeah. I mean, that's the issue we've got is we are primed to be picked apart because we are so underperforming, and by the way, there's not one player in our side that is earning such a wage that clubs would be put off.
No.
Like, there's no one in the side. Like, the top earners, Sonny, Romero, people like that, and they're still, they'd get that plus some if they went. Like
most Premier League clubs, if not abroad. Yeah.
Another player who's linked heavily with leaving is Bentancur. Atletico Madrid are in for him. The only players not being linked heavily with moves away are the players I'd probably like to be linked heavily with moves away, which is systematic because, like, if you were a club looking to sign a defensive midfielder this summer, would you look at Basuma and think, yeah, he'll do?
Not even a little bit this season. Last season, yes. This season, no.
But no, he's not. There was a player there at Brighton who would dominate entire games. At Tottenham, he is 8 out of 10 or 2 out of 10, and there is no consistency at all.
No.
There is no rhyme nor reason. There is no. You have no idea when you see him on the team sheet what you're going to get, and that is infuriating.
But sadly, the same with a lot of players. Brennan Johnson is exactly the same. He will either be an absolute menace and get a couple of goals, or you won't hear commentary say his name for 90 minutes.
Yeah,
James Maddison. James Maddison, I was over the fucking moon when we signed James Maddison. Yeah. And if he left in the summer, I wouldn't be sad.
Well, I mean,
recent performances, he spent more time waving his arms around at a referee than he has actually trying to play make.
Mate, it's difficult because I see him get on the ball and I see no one moving.
Yeah.
So you can certainly highlight certain players, but I think as a team, I think it's difficult to dig individuals out when collectively so poor.
It's so poor from back to front. Yeah.
Yeah, it is difficult. Like, you can look at that, and it's like the Brennan Johnson thing. You look at his stats for the season, and you'd think, based on that alone, he's been phenomenal. But you watch the games, and you're right, he drifts in and out of games. Now, yesterday, I said this in our chat, I felt in the first half it was the best I'd seen him in a while. He was tracking back, he was putting the work rate in, he was closing down, and he took his 2 goals brilliantly. And I thought to myself, well,
yeah,
maybe, that was impressive. Like, that was really good. In the second half, like everybody, he just didn't do anything. And so then I'm left with, do I criticise him? But then, no, because the whole team did it. Like, the whole team just shut off. And it's like you said, it was like they were told at half time, right, that's it, you're done. Just go through the motions, we've won this game.
Yep.
But that never happened. I can't believe in a million years that happened. This is the guy who is, we do not stop. This is the guy, all of this stuff. So it is the players themselves who have gone out on the pitch and have just gone, well, this is easy. We don't need to try. And then I'm lost. I'm like, Ange stood there. He's then making changes. I mean, even after the game, he kind of dug out Odegaard. He said after the game, he's like, I brought him on. He didn't do anything for 15 minutes, and then he kind of got into the game, but I wasn't impressed. And I'm like, I don't know why you're kind of just picking on him there when the whole team for that second half were so shite.
Yeah, it didn't. He came out and said about it, the substitutions didn't do what I wanted them to do. And it's like, part of me is like, well, that's kind of your job to get them ready to go on the pitch. And the other part of me is like, you can't blame them because you bring 2 players on and they look at the other 9 players on the pitch and they're going to go, what's the point? Like, Odegaard could have got the ball on the halfway line, had an amazing run all the way from halfway to the byline. He would have looked up and gone, I'll just pass it back to the goalkeeper then, because there's no one here with him.
Yeah, it's insanely, like, the whole thing around making changes, everything like that, and the whole thing about Ange being stood there and people saying, you know, well, what's going on? Like, where's this? We don't stop. Where's all of that gone? It's like all of it's been beaten out of all of them. It's like he is defeated. Like, he knows no matter what he does, he's fired.
Yeah.
And he looks that way. He has got the look on his face of a guy defeated.
And that's got to be incredibly difficult. Like, how the hell do you motivate yourself, let alone a squad, when you know 9 weeks, counting down, 9 weeks?
Well, the proof is going to be, and this is the final thing to discuss today, the proof is going to be on Thursday. Because if the team come out like you fast start, aggressive, going for it, playing Ange ball, then you can look at it and go, okay, whether I agree with this or not, they have made the decision. They're going to go through the motions in the league and they are going to go for the Europa League. Like, because I can kind of look at that and go, Southampton, the only thing really potentially is a problem in that game was injuries.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've gone through the motions, you've won the game, you've relegated Southampton, not for the first time, haha. But we've done that, so we've done our jobs, if you like. If on Thursday we show something that I've not really seen this season, and we are at it, and we are aggressive, and we are, then I will say, okay, all right. Now, the last time I saw us like that was in the last Europa League game against AZ. The second leg at our ground, we actually came out and went for them, and I was like, okay. Now, we didn't sustain it, and they got back into the game, as we all know, but that was probably our best performance in quite a long time. So, if we go into this Frankfurt game, we got to be under no illusions. We need to win that game and win it well. Like, ideally
Frankfurt
to
are
nil.
A good team. They are a good team. When we go to their ground with a 1-0 victory or something like that, that's going to be a hell of a tough night.
It's going to be tough, but like we need something to hang on to. Like, we win that game 2-0, a miracle 3 or more, I feel like confidence and everything into that second leg, we got a brilliant chance of going through. Not it's nailed on, but a brilliant chance. We win the game at all, you know, we got a great chance, obviously. But my whole thing is this: if on Thursday we come out and play Ange ball and we play, and you can see the motivation in the players and Ange, I'll be like, okay, I get it. I get what's going on here.
We
I
can't
understand.
get relegated. We are putting all eggs into that basket.
Yeah. Okay, I get what's going on. Okay, I don't like it, but I get it. Let's see what we can do. If we come out on Thursday and it's the same apathetic, nonchalant, Ange looks defeated, the squad looks disinterested, then it's game over for one, and two, it just reinforces every negative thought I'm having right now, which is everybody's stopped. Everybody's just gone, what's the point? We know he's fired. We know if I'm staying here, I know I'm going through this again, but I actually know I'm speaking to my management of who's available. Where can I go?
Jesus,
like players are checking out.
Brutal.
Well, it's just players checking out. I mean, you look at, and the painful thing is, and this is where this hurts me the most, I think, there isn't a player, like in the past, I've been angry at the players. Like, you bastards, you were like, we're right on the frigging cusp or something, or we're battling to get to Europa League, we're battling to get to the Champions League, and you're like, oh, I want Champions League football, and you're fuck you know, you were nothing before us, sort of thing, and it's annoyed me, and I've been aggravated. None of the players who are gonna potentially put their hands up this summer and say, no, I'm off, I'd blame. Like, there's like the equivalent of all of them heading to a lifeboat on the Titanic right now, and I wouldn't blame them. And what is worrying, like for me, and what is really, really worrying, is you look at where we are in the league with these players. Now, we know none of them are getting replaced. Like, we know Romero leaves, we've got Dragusin. I don't dislike Dragusin, but he is not at Romero's level. You are literally replacing a world-class central defender in his prime now with a player who is very similar sort of stylistically, but not at that level. Not at all.
And also coming back from a horrific injury, which means
exactly
he may not even be at the same level he was at.
No, exactly. And the other guy we signed in that position also has picked up a hamstring injury, and we have no idea how he's going to be. So it is like Ben Davies is very, very reliable for us. Left back, left centre back, more left centre back nowadays. He's out of contract in the summer. Ben Davies is going to have a lot of options of what to do.
I mean, most mid Premier League teams are going to be interested in that one, surely, because he is Mr. Reliable.
There are a lot of. He will have a lot of options across Europe, in England. It all greatly depends on what he wants to do. I don't even know, but again, this is the thing. Ange, if he was still in charge for next season, would probably want him to stay if there was an option for him to stay.
Even just for the leadership side of it, like their experience and everything else, yeah.
Exactly, but the club obviously haven't made him an offer, so he's available to talk to European clubs now, as it is. It's going into the summer where he's then just out of contract, he can do whatever he wants. And there's no certainty at the club. There's no, like we just said about, he doesn't know, like he could sign a new deal with the club, like, okay, I'm going to sign a new 2-year deal, I love it here, I'm happy here. And then all of a sudden, they sack Ange and they appoint someone who hates him. Like, oh, you're not my type of player at all. You're too small to be a centre-back for me. You're too slow to be a full-back for me. You're in the reserves, find a new club. And he's like, fuck, I just signed a new deal.
Yeah, brilliant. I've just gone from being able to join anyone I like for free to now someone's got to pay for me.
So if you're him, you're not going to do that, are you? I mean, you'd be mad to do that right now.
Yep.
And again, this just creates, these are the senior players at the club, and it's just creating this atmosphere and this issue. Everyone, like, he's best friends with Sonny. Sonny is his son's godparent.
Yeah.
And the two of them are currently sat there going, they fucking renewed my contract without talking to me. And he's going, well, they haven't even offered me one. They're best friends. Yeah. Of course they're talking every day about this. Of course they're both going, oh, fucking hell, what should we do? I don't know. I love it here. I love the club. But every day I'm facing, like Sonny, every day I'm facing shit online from fans.
Yep.
Like, I've given everything for them. Like, why am I doing this? It's mad. But like I said, everything's crap. Every single thing is crap right now. And I'm trying desperately to find chinks of light. So my one thing of light, my one thing of like breaking through, going through the armour, the chink in the armour is right there, is Thursday night if we perform.
Yep.
If we perform, I'm going to look at that and say, okay, that's something to hang on to. We are clearly still playing for this manager, still motivated, but we have made the decision collectively, all our focus is there. I don't like it, but I get it.
Pick up points where you can and just make sure you're ready for the European games.
And if on Thursday we're not, then I'm at a loss. I really can't think of anything right now. Because the whole club's a mess. From every single aspect of it. The Tottenham women are struggling in the WSL. The under-21s are struggling in the Premier League too.
Yep.
To the point that if relegation existed, they'd be getting relegated. The under-18s are having a really hit-and-miss season. Now, don't get me wrong, academy football's like that, because the under-21s, most of their good players are out on loan, as they should be.
Yep.
But you know, this happens, and this kind of... You get like the under-18s this season have had a tough season, but they're going to go into the under-21s, and, you know, that happens at academy level. But my point is that from top to bottom, there is nothing good at the moment for me to enjoy. Like, there's nothing. When I felt disenfranchised in the past with the first team, I've gone, I'm just going to focus on the academy. That's pure. That's kind of good. But then I'm watching it and I'm like, every aspect of the academy is trying to play Ange ball. Every aspect of everything, we've made this adjustment to try and play this brand of football, and they're going to fire the guy.
Yeah.
Because we've been left in a position where there really is no option anymore. And they know it. So what are they going to do? Are they going to try and bring in a coach who has a similar philosophy?
I don't know many out there that we could.
No. I mean, there's literally two other coaches who have a very, very similar philosophy. Neither of them are joining us. Even if Man City are relegated 3 divisions and Pep's available, he's not joining us. So that's not going to happen. And the other coach, there are other coaches who have similar philosophies in the sense of attacking football, build up from the back, so can build on what Ange is doing. Obviously not identical, because there's no one else quite like that. But yeah, you have got coaches who can do that and are doing it in the Premier League. None of them grab me. But I will say, when we appointed Pochettino, I wasn't like, oh, great, this guy's going to be amazing. It was just like, really? We've taken the Southampton manager. I know he's had a good season, but is this really going to work out? And it did massively work out. So
we keep getting linked to the Bournemouth manager.
Yeah.
And that one doesn't fill me with much woohoo sort of thing.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I've not had a woohoo in some time, man.
I know. Marco Silva's another one. I mean, look at Fulham beating Liverpool. They're playing very good football. But I look at that and I'm like, I'm not a big fan of Marco Silva anyway, but I'm like,
no.
Would you want to leave that to come to this? Like, looking at it, taking out the name of the club and the stadium and the training ground, because that's the things everyone likes to talk about. If you were just to look at the club itself, and let's take Iriola from Bournemouth. He is at a club where the fans adore him, the players adore him. He's got them playing good football, and the chairman has come out and said, we don't want to lose you, so we're going to back you, kind of stay here. And he looks at Tottenham, who have had one manager survive more than a full season in the last, 5 years?
Yeah. And now he's close to being fired.
And he's about to get sacked with no real, draws to the club, is there, really? Let's be honest. There's nothing that makes you go that one.
I will say the one thing that I think does go in our favour, even though it's fucked, is ego. If you are a sports person of any level and you've reached the top and you're a coach, you've got an ego. Right? Now, this isn't me saying it's a bad thing. You have got that. Yeah. You have got to look at a situation and think, I'm the fucking man. Because you have to. Otherwise, you wouldn't have reached that level. It was where I struggled with rugby, and I watched players who I felt I was better than, but they had a kind of psychology of I'm the best, and he told everyone, and eventually people listened to him, and I was like, but you're not. But yeah, that's you've got to have that ego, and you've got to have that ability, and I think there is an element of I could be the man to do it. I like if I walk into that club and I'm the one who turns it around, I'm the one that wins stuff. I'm the fucking man forever. And there is an element of that.
Yeah, I guess you kind of see that at a few clubs, don't you? Really, yeah.
And there's also an element of I literally cannot do worse than what they've had this season.
Yeah.
Like we are, if not for the 3 crap teams in the league, we would literally be battling relegation right now. Like if those 3 teams, I think someone pointed out the other day, it's like 3 games. If those 3 teams had won or had picked up points in 3 games, we and Wolves would be in amongst it. Like that is the tiny difference between like us and being in a relegation fight right now, which is exactly where Everton were, and all of us were like, Everton going down, that'd be funny. And all the other teams in the league are currently, Tottenham going down, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
But Everton struggled with that for 2 to 3 years. And I am
terrified. We're only in season 1.
I am terrified that we are in that position unless something dramatic happens or changes. But my point is, if you were a manager looking at it, you're right. There are so many factors you'd think that's ridiculous, I'm not doing that. But there is also an element of I'd be frigging king.
Oh, we're going to get Sean Dyche in the summer. He's good at stopping teams getting relegated.
Right now, I don't think we can rule out anybody. Like me, there's certain managers I would not like managing this football club. But
oh God, we're going to get Southgate and we're going to sign bloody Jordan Henderson. Oh God.
There you go. Problem solved. Gareth Southgate in the summer.
Jordan Henderson and Kevin Phillips as our centre midfield. Oh fuck.
Calvin Phillips. Kevin Phillips was a striker for Sunderland for many years. Anyway, that's our show. We're going to end it here on that lovely depressing note. If you can think of any rays of sunshine, please do get in touch, because I am struggling to find them genuinely, and it is a real slog right now. So get in touch, sam@spursnews.co.uk. You can get in touch via any of the socials as well. Let us know how you're getting through this season. And obviously we look forward to Thursday. Technical issues aside, we will be back on Friday, so 2 shows this week, making up for last week, where we will obviously be talking about that Frankfurt game. Yeah, that's all I can say is fingers crossed for something on Thursday night, because right now I am struggling. But for everyone else, you all take care.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Thank you for listening to the Spurs News Podcast. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Stay up to date with all things Tottenham. Follow us on social media. All links are in the podcast description.